Turning now to Decision 2026, the California gubernatorial field still crowded despite recent dropouts. NBC4's Karma Dickerson live in our newsroom now with the one candidate standing out this week with a surge in the polls. Karma.
Well, Kathy, some are calling it the Becerra bounce, as Xavier Becerra has gone from calls to get out of the race to one of the Democratic frontrunners.
In a race that's experienced a seismic shift. At least for now, the ground appears to be settling around an unexpected candidate.
These votes didn't go in a bunch of different directions. They shifted entirely over to Becerra.
Xavier Becerra, a former California Attorney General and former U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services, who served more than 2 decades in Congress, is seeing a surge in recent polls. An April 17th poll by the California Democratic Party has Becerra at 13%, up from 4% 2 weeks prior. Another poll from Emerson College and Inside California Politics shows Becerra at 10% on April 16th, up from 3% in March.
You're seeing the consolidation of a working class base in the Democratic Party that is sort of pushing back against the establishment.
But is it a moment or a movement? Political strategist Mike Madrid says he traveled from Sacramento to LA last weekend as part of his series on the Latino vote. He said he found a more diverse group than he'd expected at the Becerra rally he attended.
They reached out after seeing stuff on social media, and then they contacted the campaign. There was also kind of a discernible group that was basically saying, I haven't quite decided yet who I'm with, but I want to learn more, and I like what I'm hearing.
The latest surge takes Becerra from second-tier candidate to among the frontrunners. The latest Emerson College poll has Tom Steyer leading the Democrats at 14%. Katie Porter and Becerra tied at 10%. The Democratic Party poll has Becerra tied with Steyer. As for the bottom of those screens,
I continue to believe there are too many Democrats in the field.
In both polls, Republican Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco still lead. In the June primary, the top 2 vote-getters, regardless of party, advance to the general election. The chair of the California Democratic Party said this Monday.
My call for candidates to honestly assess the viability of their candidacy and campaigns still stands, especially if you are stalled in the single digits.
Betty Yee dropped out of the race Monday and has since endorsed Tom Steyer. However, Tony Thurmond, Antonia Villaraigosa, and Matt Mahan remain.
How do you predict this is going to unfold for them?
If you were Xavier Becerra and everybody was telling you to get out 5 days ago, you would have made a very big mistake. I think that the Democratic Party should be focused not on pushing candidates out, but bringing voters into the process.
Meanwhile, Betty Yee, a longtime public servant, gave us some insight into her decision to endorse Tom Steyer, a political outsider, saying in part, the other Democratic candidates are gifted, but their approaches fall short of the scale and urgency this moment demands. Californians need more than a return to business as usual. We need transformational change. Karma Dickerson in the newsroom.
All right, Karma, thank you so much. And as we get ready for Decision 2026, NBC4 and Telemundo 52 will host a debate doubleheader. The LA mayoral race and the California gubernatorial race. The debates are in partnership with Loyola Marymount University. We will broadcast them live in English and Spanish on May 6th. And we want to hear from you. Scan the QR code on your screen to submit your questions for the candidates. And then tune in on May 6th, starting at 5 p.m. to hear answers to the questions that matter most to you.